This has been a pretty remarkable day. The Mandlesson files, as they're being called by the media, don't think of this as just another bad day at the office for the Prime Minister. Don't think of this whole question as another political story that sickens you with career politics. No. You need to think about this in a much, much bigger context. The last major political scandal in Britain was Profumo. And that is over 60 years ago. What was that all about? Well, it was all about women, it was all about a Russian spy, and it was about cabinet ministers and senior Conservative Party people. This involves the royal family. This involves a former Prime Minister turning his guns on a current Prime Minister. This involves the leaking of cabinet, state secrets to the highest level. It involves market-sensitive information of the most profound nature. It involves, in my view, one or two elements that are quite potentially breaches of the Official Secrets Act. And we watched it today at Prime Minister's Questions all play out. It was a day of deep humiliation for the Prime Minister. The Leader of the Opposition, Keir Starmer, started off and she asked three questions. Did the Prime Minister know at the time Mandlesson was appointed to be our ambassador in Washington that Mandlesson had maintained contact with Jeffrey Epstein after his conviction for underage prostitution? Twice, the Prime Minister tried to bat it away. On the third go, he had to admit that that was the truth. But then came the question that led to a subsequent chain of events. And that's because the Prime Minister had agreed that he would give us information about the decision, the briefing, the backup to appoint Mandlesson as ambassador. But he said, you can't see things that are matters of national security. You can't see things that are a matter of international significance. You can't see things that involve trade. And suddenly, the brief was getting wider and wider of what MPs would want to see, to the extent that everyone in the House thought this is, including, by the way, his own backbenchers, this is a cover-up. This was the question number 4, that came from Keir Starmer that led to a subsequent chain of events.
The Prime Minister is serious about national security concerns. He should ask the Intelligence and Security Committee to decide which documents should be released. Will he commit to doing so here and now?
So the nub of it was that the Prime Minister and the Cabinet Secretary should not be the ones to decide what things we can't see, because after all, how could the man be independent when he works for the Prime Minister? It should go off to an independent committee made up of MPs and security experts. That all made perfect sense. The Prime Minister didn't agree to it. The Prime Minister, at the end of PMQs, pretty much stormed out of the Commons. But the drama continued this afternoon. Now, bear in mind, this is the Prime Minister, of course, that has made sure that Andy Burnham doesn't return to the House of Commons. But there's one lurking giant inside the House of Commons. That's the former Deputy PM, Angela Rayner. And she then backed up what the Leader of the Opposition had asked for.
Given the public disgust and the sickening behaviour of Peter Mandlesson and the importance of transparency, should we not have the ISC not have the same role now in keeping public confidence in the process?
And within 2 hours, the government had backed down and decided that, yes, it would be this ISC committee that would decide the things that MPs can't see that may be matters of national security and importance. But boy, I tell you something, we are going to get an absolute treasure trove of information out of all of this. What I don't know is how long it will take for that committee to make these decisions, but it's coming, it's happening. I repeat the point. This is about corruption. This is about leaking of national and international secrets. This is a potential breach of the Official Secrets Act. It involves the royal family, it involves senior members of government, and who knows, behind it all, maybe even Epstein could have been working for the Putin regime. I believe that this is bigger than Profumo. You tell me what you think. You can tweet #Farage and GB News, or email farage@gbnews.com. Now, I'm joined in the studio by Kwasi Kwarteng, regular, and Lord Glasman. Now, this time last year, it was the inauguration in Washington, D.C., and Morris and I were there together. And, you know...
Your passwords are your passwords, only for your eyes. But how safe is your phone or laptop or tablet? Well, watch this. I press one button and my phone is now shielded from hackers and prying eyes. ExpressVPN is your protector. Yes, you can protect all your passwords fast across multiple devices with ExpressVPN. Premium, fast, and highly secure. Get big peace of mind for a low cost. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code to get up to 75% off, plus 4 extra months free, all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. Protect your online life today.
We're not always nice to Lord Glasman, but we're going to be nice tonight because Morris wrote a letter to Number 10 in January 2025. And this is what he said. The brutal truth is the vast majority of people I meet, that's over in Washington, consider our Labour government to be a front organisation for paedophiles and Pakistani rape gangs. They consider our position on the Chagos Islands an example of progressive idiocy and our appointment of Peter Mandlesson an unnecessary provocation. They think our army has gone to hell, our country is overwhelmed by legal and illegal migrants. Withdraw Peter Mandlesson. He is the wrong man at the wrong time in the wrong place. Evening, Morris. You tried your best.
Wasn't much, but I had a go. I do want to say just formally that was supposed to be a confidential memo and it wasn't leaked by me, just to say that.
Who leaked it then?
I don't know.
But you wrote it?
I did, certainly I wrote it. And I stand by that. It was so obvious when we were there. I mean, do you remember your party at the hotel?
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of the hotel.
Hey, Adams, yeah.
Yeah, and people were just walking up to me with their phones, showing me those photographs. I mean, it wasn't really a very difficult decision.
Yeah, I had cabinet ministers, American cabinet ministers, saying, Peter Mandlesson, are you kidding?
It was all over. And then I went with to the MAGA events, and people were just walking up to me with these things. So it was clear that, but what we didn't understand, and on this side of the pond, was the enormity of the Epstein story. It was a conspiracy theory. It was QAnon, and we don't make decisions on those grounds. But the reality is that was what we found when we were there, and we have to be patriots and we have to advise in the right way. I mean, now we've got a very good ambassador. By the way, in that briefing note, by the way, Nigel, I suggested that they make you the ambassador.
That'd have been great.
Get him out of English politics.
Get rid of him. Send him off to the wine cellar in Washington.
To say to viewers, when I got to the States, I mean, you were like a senator there. I mean, even your teeth looked better when you were in America.
They will do over there. How? Why could this Prime Minister have made such an horrendous misjudgment?
Well, I think if we're going to understand it profoundly, this to me is the end of New Labour. What's revealed, Peter Mandlesson is one of the two most important people in our politics of the last 40 years. I don't want to see him erased, cancelled, whitewashed. He's a very, very significant
Hang
man.
on, Morris.
The other one...
Hang on, I'm going to stop you there.
Yeah.
He's under criminal investigation. What he has done is very, very serious.
Oh, what he's done is terrible. It's really...
Has he betrayed the country?
Yes, he has. He has leaked government secrets. He is putting pressure. He put pressure on government ministers on behalf of foreigners. I mean, he did all that. No, this is terrible. But what I'm saying is, it's even deeper than his individual complicity. And this is true, I think, of your party too. And Nigel, I have worries about yours. Is this uncritical attitude to rich people? You know, it's the job of government to be close to rich and powerful people.
No, but he went to a totally different level. I mean, yes, people solicit
and to lobby on their behalf.
Am I wrong, Morris, when I say this is potentially, and I think already, bigger than the Profumo scandal?
Well, it's way bigger than Profumo. Profumo was actually really about sex. In this particular case, this is about money and power and secret lobbying.
With a bit of sex mixed in.
Well, the sex... The sex
and underage and goodness knows
all of that is disgusting, and we have that going on with the grooming gangs, and we have that going on at the top. This is sinful, awful, disgusting behaviour. This is, but what I'm saying is, this is also about globalisation, about rich people exerting pressure on the government. So do you remember? I say to people, do you remember the financial crash, Nigel? Do you remember those days?
Quite.
Right? And so it turned out that the banks were lying and exaggerating and cheating about their accounts. There was a huge popular reaction.
I think that is a powerful point.
There was a huge popular reaction.
Do have
and
big
what's
influence.
interesting is that Mandlesson was lobbying for the bankers. This is what he was doing.
Kwasi, you were there through Partygate,
all of that,
the fall of Boris, the mood on the Labour backbenches today. I mean, they sat there. Some of them sat there with their eyes closed.
It's embarrassing for Labour. I mean, look, I'm one of the few people.
How do you? And you're a great historian.
Thank you.
Well, you're an historian.
Yeah.
Where do you place this in terms of enormity? I'm not sure people at home get how big this is.
It's very, very serious. So, I mean, I'm one of the few people actually who I did Mandelson's job. I did a version of his job as business secretary. And the idea that you receive number 10 briefings that have been sent to the Prime Minister, and then you forward them to a mate who happens to be a convicted paedophile and happens to be involved in finance, so he can benefit from the insider information. That's completely outrageous. The other thing that happened today, which people won't pick up on, but I thought it was very significant, was Mandlesson was just chucked out of the Privy Council. Now, everyone who's in the cabinet is a member of the Privy Council, and you swear an oath.
Which is the King's private council in the old-fashioned sense.
If we want to talk about history, it goes back to Henry VIII.
Even Thomas Cromwell was not.
No, they never are.
He was executed.
They never are. Henry VIII executed people, but they weren't.
No, but they weren't.
That's right. So what you do? There's a ceremony in Buckingham Palace, and you swear an oath. He would have sworn an oath to Elizabeth II, and it's the clues in the word privy. It's private.
Yeah.
It's all about secrecy. It's all about keeping confidential information. Yeah. And on that basis, the cabinet sits and can't leave.
Well, it's extraordinary. We're going to carry on with this after the break. I'm going to ask the question, can the Prime Minister survive this? And if so, for how long? Because my feeling is that Morgan McSweeney will take the rap for all of this, and that'll be the beginning of the end. But we'll discuss that after the break.